Good morning to everyone. I want to thank you all for being here today. We are also joined by several guests that I'd like to thank them for their continued advice and participation. Minister Dawn is here behind me, Minister Dawn Muhammad, Karen Payne from the NAACP, Reverend Gene Rivers, Reverend Mark Scott, Michael Kozu from Project Right, and Detective Larry Ellison from Mamleo. On Tuesday, July 28th, the Boston Police Department placed Officer Justin Barrett on administrative leave pending the outcome of a termination hearing. On that day, I was made aware that this officer admitted to being the author of correspondence which included repulsive racial slurs. At that time, and after a meeting with command staff, I moved immediately to take action, and the officer was stripped of his gun and badge. I was presented with a set of facts and believed that the appropriate and only response was to place the officer on administrative leave and set the wheels in motion for a full investigation. The officer is entitled to due process, and we will see that process through. There will be a thorough internal affairs investigation and hearing process which will lead to a termination hearing scheduled in the next week to 10 days. The Boston Police Department has a top-to-bottom commitment to community policing. Community policing is based on trust. This type of venomous rhetoric is severely damaging. Maintaining our community relationships is paramount to our mission to serve the citizens of Boston. We all work with the community and have made great strides to earn their trust. We must not allow this action to affect the relationships that have been forged and the progress we've made over the years. The Boston Police Department is committed to a standard of excellence. Our community rightly has high expectations for us. It is a standard that the community deserves, and we are required to meet. Officer Barrett's actions do not comply with these expectations. Barrett's email was racist and inflammatory. These racist opinions and feelings have no place in this department or in our society and will not be tolerated. Barrett's comments were directed at Harvard University professor Henry Louis Gates. I regret the direct insult towards Professor Gates, and I've personally reached out to him to apologize for this offense and to inform him of the department's immediate efforts to make this officer accountable. I've also asked that in the coming days, members of the department reach out to those in the community that we serve and extend ourselves to others, to reiterate our commitment to them, our citizens, and to improving relations at all levels. As I've stated in the past, I'm very proud of the officers and civilians of this department who carry out their duties in the finest traditions of the Boston Police Department. We will not allow the unacceptable actions of one member to define who we are as a police organization. This department has over 2,000 uniformed officers and 700 civilians who conduct themselves with the utmost professionalism. I applaud your integrity, and I thank you for your continued hard work. As a department, we must learn from this incident and move forward. And to do that, I will work closely with the men and women who you see standing behind me and other members of the community that they represent. We have several people that would like to comment on this, and I'd like to start by introducing Minister Dawn Muhammad. Minister?
Thank you very much, Commissioner Davis. I want to say here and now that I thank him for his position, the position of the mayor, to move on this very serious problem that I'm sure many of you know, and those who will see this broadcast, particularly from the African American community. This is an issue that is not reflective of this department. But everybody knows one flat tire will stop your whole car. And we must take action, and they did immediately. But where there's smoke, there's fire. And we need to put out the flames of racial hatred anywhere that it exists. This city is where the revolution started. Why don't we start another one? God didn't create all of these different colors for the conflict that is going on. And it is because we don't see one another as equals. We have the opportunity to take this unfortunate situation and prove to the world that we want to see justice done. I've asked the Commissioner to pay close attention to the areas where crime is most prevalent. I want to see our youngsters grow up black, white, or even polka dot. Because every time that a child is killed, you might just have killed the answer to humanity. This problem is so serious and so prevalent, we have been called to stand up today. I want to say to everyone who's a member of the Boston Police Department, you have the chance to lead this country so that these kind of incidents never grow into what it will, where people won't report to you, won't tell you of a crime. If we don't take this opportunity, we will have missed a chance to do something great for society. And you know something? We need to pull together at the same time and in the same direction. And if we don't, you will stand out like a sore thumb. I'm saying to you, don't miss the opportunity to show the world that Boston and Massachusetts ought to be an example for race and police and community relations all over the country. Thank you very much, Mr. Commissioner.
Thank you, Minister. Next, we have Reverend Jean